Hi. So I'm sure most of you guys watching this know who I am, but just in case for some reason you don't, I'm Kathryn, and this video and this GoFundMe page that my awesome friend Callie made for me is about me and my family and my story, which seems crazy and narcissistic, but I guess that's how these things work. So Callie asked me to make this video to give you guys a little bit more information about what's going on in my life and my story. So this is my second attempt, because the first one I rambled on with a bunch of medical jargon that probably nobody cared about. So I'm going to try to shorten this and not speak like a doctor, because nobody really wants to hear that stuff. So here's my story. So I'm 30 years old, and I am divorced, freshly divorced, just a few months ago. I have a beautiful 7-year-old son who is severely mentally and physically handicapped. And ironically, my first experience dealing with neurological issues and seizures were not with myself. They were with him for the first few years of his life. Knock on wood, I can find some here. He has not had any that we know of in the last couple years, so we think his are under control. So right about the time that that we got his under control, some weird stuff started happening with me. So here's my background real quick. I'm a cosmetologist. I have run a salon and spa, owned my business for 10 years, about a decade or so. And that's what I do. That's what I love. That's where my heart is at, and that's only thing I ever have known how to do. I've also been a full-time director with a well-known cosmetic company for the last few years as well too. So I like to make people pretty. I love people. I love to interact with people. So in my mid-20s, I started having what they called episodes of syncope. There I go with medical jargon again. That's big fancy wording for like fainting spells, basically. They didn't know what they were. They were just episodes of me basically passing out. Dizziness, fainting, falling unconscious, things like that. They didn't happen very often, but they were still happening, at least, often enough to be concerning, especially when they couldn't figure out why. So I was getting rushed to the emergency room on a, every other month basis, and they didn't know what was going on. And along with these episodes of fainting, there were episodes of what they called tachycardia, which is another big fancy word for heart racing. So when I would pass out or go unconscious, my heart would race at the same time, like for no good reason. It would go from regular resting heart rate to, like I was sprinting for no reason. They never figured it out. And, emergency rooms are really only meant to deal with emergency situations. So by the time that, I got there and everything kind of calmed down, they would just be like, here's a bag of fluids, go see your doctor, and, on Monday or whatever. So doctors ran tests. They sent me to see a cardiologist because due to the heart racing, they thought it was cardiology related. The cardiologist ran a bunch of tests. They actually implanted a permanent loop recorder in my chest that I still have, a big old hunk of metal that cost me a whole lot of money, that over the years recorded my heart doing anything that was kind of weird or whatever. And basically the cardiologist said that yes, they did catch the heart doing these episodes of tachycardia, but they didn't know why. He told me that while the heart was doing it, the heart wasn't the one sending out the signals. In other words, the heart wasn't telling the heart to do it. It was the brain sending the signals, telling the heart to race. Okay, not super helpful to somebody that's not a doctor, but he didn't tell me anything else. So these episodes continue to keep happening. Obviously dangerous because, driving, bad. Well, they happened sometimes when I would be working, so bad. But again, it was still infrequent enough that I could continue with my life. And then about this past August to September, right around there, it all kind of came to a head really quick. The episodes started getting worse, and they started coming closer and closer together. And then I started going off of a medication that I was on. And when I did that, they came on really, really quick and really, really fast. So for about 4 days, I was having these episodes nonstop for about 4 days straight. I was in the hospital for 2 of those days. And the other 2 days, I was traveling back to Nebraska because I wasn't even at home during this time. I couldn't even travel by myself. Somebody actually had to fly down to Florida and, for all intents and purposes, carry me back because I couldn't really walk. So when I got back here, they sent me to see a neurologist. And the neurologist, listened to me and talked to some people who had seen me when these episodes happened. And they said, well, clear as day, they're seizures. I mean, clear as day, they were seizures. They were very basic focal seizures, as they call them. So it was quite simple. It could have been diagnosed a long time ago. But instead, it racked up, hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills, even after insurance covered, a lot of it. But this is where it gets weirder. They don't know what's causing the seizures. They didn't know what was causing the seizures because I'd never had them before in my life, and they came on in my mid-20s. Normally, you have some type of unconscious or some type of brain injury or, something that would cause the brain to start having seizures, and I didn't. So after running, EEGs, MRI, things like that, they did find some things in the brain, and I'm going to leave out this medical jargon because this is where it gets confusing and weird. But basically, they found what they think is a part of my brain that is asymmetric, and it's in the part of the brain that is in charge of the memory and the emotions, and it's basically deteriorating, and it's scarred. It's what they call sclerosis. It's scarred. They don't know why that happened. They don't know if I was born with it. They don't know if it happened over time. They have no idea. But they've had me on all sorts of different meds. I'm on currently 3 different anti-seizure meds. I was on 4 up until last week, but I had a massive reaction to one of them they had me on, and I started having fainting spells where I actually literally was passing out and fainting. So I think I'm on 3 or 4 now, plus a bunch of other meds to try to combat the side effects of the anti-seizure meds. So I'm basically what they're calling medically resistant. In other words, my condition can't be controlled by medication. So now they need to run some more tests to see if they can't pinpoint the exact area that this is being caused from. And if they can actually go in and do brain surgery and remove that part of the brain that's causing the problem. So it sounds super scary, but it's actually the best option that we have at this point. Otherwise, this is the condition that I'll have to remain in for the rest of my life. So, and that condition is this. I'm on so many different drugs that I can't see straight. Literally, as I'm looking into my phone right now to make this video, I see 2 of me. I can't work because I'm still having seizures, usually on at least an every other day basis, if not more. The medications that I'm on about 10 right now altogether, make me so sick that I'm nauseous, puking, dizzy. I often get so dizzy and lightheaded that I fall to the ground and pass out all the time just because of the lightheadedness from the medications. So I'm completely at my wit's end as far as financial abilities. I've cleared out everything I own, checking, savings. My parents have been so kind to try to help me with everything they can, but I can't take any more money from them. You know, they're both retired and they have to live on something too, you know. They don't have any income coming in anymore themselves. So I'm so blessed to have such incredible friends and family to come help me clean my house and help me with a lot of things. But you know, there's only so much that people can give. And my friend Callie was so sweet to want to set this up for me. And my beautiful son, like I said, who's mentally and physically handicapped himself, he will need to be taken care of for the rest of his life, and he really, really needs his mother. So I need to be there for him. So I got to get better so that I can be around for my baby. And my best friend in the entire world, Mark, as he comes to my rescue all the time. This guy over here, he's probably aging like twice as fast as he should be because my dog thinks he's a paramedic, you see. He won't leave my side ever. And whenever I fall in the house, which happens almost on a daily basis, he braces my fall every time. And he lays at my feet whenever I'm in the bed, and he lays at my feet when I'm on the ground, and he waits by my side until I can get back up. He lets me use him as a pillow. He checks my breathing. He listens to my heart. He literally thinks he's a doctor, my dog does. So that's pretty much my story. That's about all there is to it. I don't know what else to tell you except thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everything. And if you want to come by and visit Mark and me, Mark loves everybody. Mark loves to give love. He'll check your vitals for you if you want. And thank you for everything. And I God bless you. God bless everybody. And thank you to my friends who made this for me. And thank you to my amazing family and my amazing mother and father who have been helping me through all of this. And yes, thank you, Mark, to you too. And I guess that's where I'll end it. So thank you so much. Bye.